Welcome back to the studio where we're chatting away to Robbie Power alongside Martin Dwyer. And before our previous race at Dundalk, we got a bit of an idea about Robbie's introduction to the sport of horse racing, having come through show jumping. And one of the things we spoke about, Robbie, were the ups and downs. Sometimes you get a bit of bad luck that provides good luck for someone else. Sometimes it's the other way around. In 2006, you were due to ride New Mill in the Queen Mother Champion Chase. But unfortunately, circumstances meant that you missed out.
Yeah, I'd won the Kinloch Bray chase on New Mill. It was the first time I'd ridden him, actually. Won the Kinloch Bray on him in Thurles, and then he was going for the champion chase next, and I broke my foot in a schooling accident and missed out the whole of Cheltenham, so that was huge disappointment. Got back for Fairyhouse at Easter, but I hadn't ridden a Cheltenham Festival winner at the time either, so you're sitting at home watching the horse that used to be riding at 16-1 romping home. He romped home that year in the champion chase. Andrew McNamara rode him, so that was the first big downer I'd had as a jockey, definitely. The year before I'd had a good season and everything was going well, and then that was it. That was definitely probably the worst pain I've ever felt, more than any injury I've ever had.
Watching someone else
winning the horse, especially a race at that level.
Massive sickness.
That is sick, yeah. I watched it at home, but it wasn't long after before I was in a pub, I'll tell you that.
Anybody who says they're watching it cheering them on, they're lying.
No, that's a lie, that's a lie.
Yeah, you watch, you're thinking, oh, please don't win.
Well,
you can't help
obviously you missed out on that occasion, but the following year, and just before the Grand National, Jason Maguire is the jockey that a lot of people think is going to ride Silver Birch for Gordon Elliott in the Grand National. But he's then claimed by his retained yard. Gordon gives you the call.
Yeah, that was the way it had been from the start of that season. Like, Gordon was only starting off training. I think he trained a couple of winners in England.
Yeah, he hadn't trained to win in Ireland.
He hadn't trained to win in Ireland, no. And he bought Silver Birch out of Paul Nichols's, I think for 20 grand at Doncaster Sales. And I was good friends with Gordon. I rode against Gordon, and Gordon was point to point when I was riding and starting off. And Gordon said to me, he says, if Jason can't ride him, he says, you can ride him. And I says, grand, cool, yeah, brilliant. Yeah. So he ran in Punchestown in November in a Banks race, and obviously Jason wasn't coming over to ride in a cross-country race in Punchestown, so I rode him around Punchestown. Then he went to Cheltenham, Jason rode him.
He ran well at Punchestown, was he second?
Yeah, he was second then over in a Banks race in Punchestown. And then he went to the festival. I think he was second to guard Sean Petra in the cross-country race of the festival. Yeah. Jason rode him in that. And then literally about 10 days before the Grand National or less, Gordon rang me up and he says, Jason has to ride for Donald McCain in the Grand National. Yeah. You can ride Silver Birch. So I was like, yeah, brilliant, great.
Well, we're going to take a look back at the race in its entirety. You can enjoy every moment of it, and you can talk us through it and how you felt about the opportunity to ride the race. I mean, what realistically did you expect? What did Gordon make you feel, and what did you think, having sat on him before?
I remember watching Ruby win the Beecher chase on him. I was probably sitting at home watching the race and thinking what a jumper he was, and I'd love to ride him someday around Aintree. And then all of a sudden Gordon had the horse, and Gordon had done with Silver Birch what he'd done with Apple's Jade. He'd had him off hunting. I think Silver Birch hunted with the Ward Union Staghounds back then, and I'd been out a few days hunting, so we went to the Curragh literally probably...
You're just jumping now with the
jumping
nose
the first,
in about 10th position, so the second wave.
Second wave, exactly, towards the inside. No instructions going out. We'd been to the Curragh just before the race, but his last strong bit of work, and he actually worked better than he'd ever worked. And we started to get a little bit excited. As excited as he can be about a 33-1 shot in the Grand National, so...
Robbie, going back to the start of this race, we've all seen national starts. I mean, this year you must have been a bit nervous. There was a false start, and it took 2 more goals to line up, I think, if I'm correct. I mean, what is it like? Why is it so important to get away towards the front end? Why is the start of the national like it is?
It's very, very hard. If you miss the beat in the granny, you need a horse that can travel down over the first 6 fences, and on Silver Birch here I am just about going as fast as I'm able to go. His jumping got him into the position. I wanted to be a bit handier than I am now, but his jumping got him into the position on the second circuit. But Yeah, if you jump off mid-division or three-quarters way
So
back...
you're just sort of bang in the middle of Beeches at the moment here, aren't you?
Yeah, just one
about
from
to
the
jump
inside,
now.
following the grade there, yeah.
Which is where you wanted to be. You're happy here?
I'm happy where I am now, you know, and as the race pans out, you'll see when we jump Valentine's now in 3 fences time, Joe Tizard is in front of me on Royal Clare, and he falls. And it's the way these big handicaps go, you just get that look. The horse just rolls out your way and you get into the perfect position you want to be. I think I saved a bit of ground. This was one fence that I always thought my show jumping career always helped me at.
Because
Such a sharp turn after the canal turn, and you're ready for it, you know. You're trying to cut the fence on the angle. You see Royal Clare here now goes in front of me, and it was Joe. Look, Joe was asking for big ones, and that opened up so much space for me when he fell.
yeah,
So I'm now couldn't be happier where I am.
yeah.
And as it was good ground, Grand National, we're going pretty quick, you know, for 4.5 miles.
And people, Martin, I think alluded to it. You talk about rhythm. You know already, don't you, by this stage, whether you've got a chance because of the rhythm that your horse is in.
Exactly, and when you can do things, it's the same with doing the flat. When you can do things without pushing horses out of their comfort zone, and his jumping was what was keeping him where you wanted to be. He was such a good jumper. Ironically enough, he'd fallen at the chair the year before.
Yeah.
And when we jumped the third fence, which is the big ditch, you would know he'd fallen at the chair the year before.
Right.
He actually, his wither hit me in the chest. He gave it that much air.
Right.
You kept coming back to the inside. You're trying to save ground here. You've obviously, I mean, I think, was he 33-1 for this?
He
this
was
day?
33-1, yeah.
But you're riding him like he's odds-on favourite.
Yeah, but he's been around there before as well, so he has experience of the track. As I said, he won a Beecher with Ruby. He'd done a circuit in the Grand National the year before. He was anti-post favourite for the Grand National when Paul Nicholas trained him.
Right.
He'd won the Welsh Grand National with Ruby as well. I don't think I went out in this. I don't ever plan to go out in any race to be on the inside or to be on the outside. It's just where you find a pocket with a bit of space. And I've Tony Dobbin in front of me now. Again, I can't remember the name of the horse he's riding, but you know who's around. You know the good jumpers and the bad jumpers. And but again, when I was following Royal Clare, I thought I was following a good jumper, and he fell. So you need that bit of luck in these big handicaps as well.
You must have been happy at this stage. How far have we left to go from here?
Another full, so we're nearly halfway now. This is just, I'm perfect where I want to be now. I've got a bit of space. I remember just roaring at Dobbin, going to the chair. We're coming to the chair now. Just give us a little bit. Tony won't go there. But what Silver Birch actually jumps into the gap.
What, you just asked him for a bit of room?
Just a bit of light. Don't just give me a little bit. And when we jumped that and I landed up his inside,
spot.
he actually looked across at me and says, "I thought you said you weren't going there. I'm sorry."
Too late.
Too late.
So you've moved into third now.
Yeah, two good jumps. He's gone from 6th or 7th without any huge effort to being in third.
Yeah.
This might seem like a stupid question, and it probably is. But second time round,
I'm looking
when
forward to this.
a lot of these fences are destroyed, will you try and pick a fence, the gaps in the fence where...
No.
Or not?
No. Back in these days, under the firs was wooden stake poles, so if you got a bit low on one of them, you're gone. So I always aim for whatever's coming in front of me, more birch.
Or the best line.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't aim for a gap in the fence?
No.
So was it a stupid question?
Yeah.
Great question.
Thanks.
Yeah, great question. Swap seats.
So what are you thinking here? Come on.
I'm thinking I'm very happy, but it's the Grand National and Dennis Regan's in front of me now. I'm thinking, keep straight, Dennis, please. But this is the Grand National. It hasn't entered my head yet that I'm going to win this race. It's not even in the back of my mind. Again, Dennis has gone a bit left, and that's in the back of my mind. You're just hoping to avoid any disasters from here on in, because everything has gone so well for a circuit, but there's so much more that can go wrong in a Grand National.
So when does it enter your mind that you could actually win the Grand National?
Not for a good while yet. I think I look around me just before the turn into the straight, and I was expecting to see 20 horses behind me, but I didn't.
Is the only little real error he makes is at Beeches the second time?
No, that fence there.
There it is.
I went looking for something that wasn't there, and Silver Birch just told me to sit quiet for a bit longer and not be annoying him. He knew more about jumping around Aintree than I did.
Is there much chat here now at this point? Are you talking to any of the other boys beside you?
No, I'm just wanting to get Beeches out of the way first, and I've jumped it a bit further down the inside than I wanted to. But again, that's the luck you get in the day. If I jumped to where I wanted to, I'd have been straight into the backside of Bewley's Berry. So instead, Silver Birch gave Paddy Brennan a kick up the backside.
And so you're in a good spot now, and you often hear people say, well, you got over that fence, got over beaches the second time, you concentrate, that's an important one too. You can't ever relax any fence at any race, can you?
No, definitely not. And when you do relax and think that, I got a very good third here again at the Canal Turn. Barry's on slim pickings and I've stepped up the inside, and again it gets another brilliant jump here at Valentine's. He wings this.
Oh yeah.
He did, didn't he?
And then you're able to sit again, and I'm nearly upsides in front. His ears are pricked. I can sit now and give him a breather.
You must have started to get excited at this point. I mean, they're dropping like flies around you.
They are, but as well, I don't know what's in behind me. And you're a long way from home in the Grand National here. You still have, you have 5 more fences left to jump. You have over a mile to race.
How worried are you about
That's the last big ditch now, and he jumped that really well as well. Yeah, you are concerned, but he's kind of gone out of my way now.
Yeah.
And Barry's staying outside him. I think Barry makes a mistake at this one, is it? No, later on he does. But again here, Sam Whaley-Cohen has come around me on the outside and given me a squeeze to get back in behind Barry, which again, being a young jockey, only having my second ride in the Grand National, has probably done me a favour, because I've had to sit on him for a bit longer now and let him
wait a little bit.
Let him fill again.
You just had a glance behind you there. What?
I had a look around because when Sam was giving me a nudge and pushed me back in, he's come back onto the bridle again, and I've just had a look around to see what was. As I said, I was expecting to see a wall of horses behind me, and when I've looked around and seen there wasn't that many, and I still have a bit of horse under me, I've thought, well, I have a chance now.
So here you thought, now, come on, I could win this.
I've gone down here hoping to get a good jump, and I've met it very, very long, and Silver Birch has come up for me. And once, if he's put down there, I'm running out of horse. But because he's come and given me that jump, I've thought, right, there's plenty of horse left in the tank, and we'll go for gold. Slim Pickens makes a bad mistake on the inside,
and away
which
you go.
hands me an advantage. I think the loose horse actually helped me here, because I remember Ruby saying, the loose horse goes the wrong way, that was right. Because Ruby said to me, don't be in front on him too long. If it happens. Now, he also said in the same sentence, it won't happen yet. But he says, if you do get there, don't be in front too soon. The loose horse is buggered off and on the wrong side. And he has actually started to pull up, and to this day I can still hear the commentator saying, and McKelvey is flying down the outside, and I thought, oh no, I'm going to get nabbed. But if you watch Silver Birch, he actually picks up here again.
Yeah.
He spotted the loose horse as well, and he actually picked up
the loose on the other side.
Yeah, McKelvey, should I say. He's spotted McKelvey on the outside, and he's gone again.
So now, we always ask the question, you've been through it a load of times, we always hear, so how does it feel when you cross the line? What's happening here in the mind of Robbie Power?
I honestly can't remember, I don't know. The whole thing was a kind of a blur.
Look at Gordon, eh?
Yeah, Gordon, look, slim young fella, isn't he?
Barely changed.
Yeah, look, as kids growing up, the Grand National was, I remember being a kid growing up, and BBC Sport used to dedicate a whole day to the Grand National, the same as they did for Hickstead for the show jumping for the Derby, the Formula One, FA Cup. And I remember we watched the Grand National all day. From 9 o'clock in the morning, there was something on about it. And when I had a ride in it 2 years before that, I rode Spot the Difference, my first ride in it. And then when you get around it, you think, right, when I go winning this, you don't think it's going to happen to you, but it was fantastic. And
you looked like you couldn't quite believe it there when you were coming up.
I couldn't, because I'd had a rotten year with injuries and everything had gone wrong that could go wrong. I got dropped off a few horses, and then all of a sudden you win the biggest race of them all, the Grand National. So it was a huge. As I've said it a few times in interviews, I think it was the race that probably saved my career, because I think if I hadn't won the Grand National at that time, because I had such a rotten 18 months, who knows what would have happened.
There's often you hear people say, winning a race like this, oh, well done, but I'd forgotten about the flying dismount.
So would I.
Is that the first time you'd ever done it?
The only time I've ever done one.
You'd forgotten about missing a Cheltenham winner at that point, didn't you?
Yeah.
Wow. You often hear about people say, so you win the Derby, you win the National, and that propels your career into something that other people only dream of. Is that what you were thinking now, that you, without wanting to put words, do you think, right, I've made it, I'm now in the big time, or this is just the race I wanted to win?
No, this is the race I wanted to win, you know. It was unbelievable that feeling to win the Grand National. And it was, that's at the time it was so surreal. You didn't know what was going on. I was on the 6:30 flight the next morning back to Ireland, Trident, Tramore. And as we talked about earlier on,
with a hangover.
Racing with a hangover is right. Racing brings you back down to earth.
Yeah.
So, I remember though it's a couple of weeks after the Grand National, I won the champion hurdle in Punchestown for Harry Rogers on a horse called Silent Oscar, and beat Max Joy of Jesse's. And I think them 2 weeks, because I had such a bad time with through injuries and losing the riding a few horses. The next year, then again, I just took off. You know, it was huge. It was good timing. The 2 races came with good timing. Yeah.
It is serendipity, isn't it? You know that people do work very hard. Obviously, hard work will pay off in the end. But there are things that are completely out of your control that you can't do anything about. But when they come along, you grab it. You know, like you say, could have easily been Jason Maguire in that position.
Yeah, very easy. And luckily for Jason, he got redemption a few years later. He won his Grand National a few years later. So, but that's the way. That's swings and roundabouts of horse racing. You win some, you lose some. But when you do they go the wrong way for you, you've got to try and mentally stay strong and believe, right, we'll turn this around.